Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about
Yes, very serious.
concerns?
Very, very serious. Very.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official. And we've learned the FBI has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dalton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign. In a statement, Dalton trustee Jason House reacted to the news of the FBI's involvement. We welcome any investigation that will bring transparency on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. Our residents deserve this level of financial transparency.
I want to tell you about the Illinois Attorney General's office now ordering a charity run by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard to stop soliciting donations. The charity, called Tiffany Henyard Cares, failed to register with the Attorney General's office or disclose how much money it raised and how the money is being spent. Fox 32 first raised questions about her charity last year. Our investigation with the Illinois Answers Project found she was using public employees and taxpayer dollars to support the charity, including a $10,000 donation from Thornton Township, where she is supervisor. The AG's office says it is evaluating further action against the charity to protect donors and enforce state laws about charitable giving.
Let's go south to Springfield. Governor Pritzker delivering his 6th State of the State budget address today, unveiling $800 million in tax increases. The hikes would largely fall on businesses, from large corporations to state-regulated sports books. As for his spending priorities, the Democrat is focused on social services, health care, and early education, proposing $350 million earmarked for the state's school funding formula, a modest increase for college MAP grants. Pritzker's budget also creates a $12 million child tax credit for low-income families with children under the age of 3, for a credit of nearly 20% of the taxpayers' state-earned income.
And even though inflation continues to cool off, folks are still feeling the squeeze every week at the grocery store. So there's one more thing that we ought to do. For the good of our state's working families, let's permanently eliminate the grocery tax.
That got bipartisan support in chambers. The biggest fight the governor's likely to face is the nearly $182 million allocated for new asylum seekers and another $629 million for health care costs related to the undocumented.
Over $2.8 billion, $2.8 billion has been dedicated to services for migrants and undocumented immigrants, while services for our most vulnerable citizens remain chronically underfunded and underserved.
Lawmakers will begin their budget negotiations. The new fiscal year begins July the 1st.
The suit says U of C Hospital and one of its doctors are to blame for the death of 69-year-old Ruth Colby. The complaint alleging that Colby underwent the wrong procedure, which was negligently performed by Dr. Hussam H. Balki. The lawsuit claims the doctor recommended the wrong procedure, a minimally invasive robotic procedure to correct a heart valve issue. It says following the lengthy procedure, Colby was unable to transition off of bypass and eventually suffered severe heart failure. She was then transferred from the operating room to the ICU, where she died 3 weeks later. Her son and her attorneys say it was supposed to be a routine procedure, but that a series of inadequate treatments that they describe as negligence led to her death.
One is just getting clarity. I think throughout, from the very beginning, throughout the 3 weeks that we were there was a lot of, conflicting information. We heard different things from different people. There were a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So really just trying to understand what happened, why did this happen, was it avoidable? That's from a personal perspective.
Ruth Colby was the president and chief executive of Silver Cross Hospital in New Lenox for 6 years. Her death occurred in October of 2023. The 69-year-old Mokina resident was described as a leader and a driving force in transforming the Silver Cross from a community hospital to a regional medical center. She is survived by her son, David Chodak, who you just heard from, and her husband, Donald DeFrank.
The tenants living at CHA's Washington Park home say they've had to live with mysterious rashes, lack of heat, mold, lack of repairs, and sewage water leaking into their kitchens. The residents decided to make their voices heard by organizing together today. Many of them say they've reached out to CHA and East Lake Management only to get no response or to be threatened with an eviction for speaking out. Many are afraid by demanding the change that they want, that their subsidized rent will be in jeopardy. Teresa Stevenson says she's lived in CHA since 2008, and this winter she had heating issues.
My unit has no insulation. There have been times when I had to use big blankets to put on my children's windows. I'm currently having issues with mold in my unit. As of December of this year, an inspector came out on January 26th, and the results were determined it was indeed mold. Been done. No one has been scheduled to clean the mold.
She wasn't the only person that had a lot to say about their living conditions. Of course, we did reach out to CHA on this story. So far, we have not heard back.
Is it coincidence or retaliation? Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug house or something.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully, nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dalton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're going to lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half dozen people, including business owners, a former Dalton employee, and an elected official, as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the two bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dalton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dalton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation. So you don't get a chance to stay open if you don't pay the Queen's ransom.
Now, tomorrow evening, there will be a special public meeting of the trustees who are opposed to the mayor, in which they plan to take action on the village's finances, getting access to Village Hall. They've been locked out, and welcoming that investigation by federal agencies.
We're in all black He has a long gun. He was last seen eastbound from that location in the alley.
Just after 1:30 Friday afternoon, inside this West Side Family Dollar at Chicago and Long, shots rang out.
I was at work and I heard gunshots next door, so I went next door to go see what happened. And then I found my friend Lois down on the ground.
Jesse Brown works security next to the Family Dollar. His 43-year-old friend, Lois Wright, also a guard, had been shot multiple times. The shooter had run away.
No one saw him go into a building, right? He's just wandering around at the moment.
Then, just a few blocks away at Chicago and Central, officers with their weapons drawn, investigating an apartment building, looking for something or someone.
I'm scared to go outside with my children, my grandchildren, because I feel that somebody's going to get shot.
No one else inside the store was injured, but Wright was rushed to the hospital where he died.
He was a good friend. He was cool. He loved doing security. I love doing security. And it's just sad that this happened to him.
Brown says he grew up with Wright on the West Side, who now leaves behind a family.
It's a sad situation because all he's trying to do was work and take care of his family. And now this.
Because the Cubs are surprising fans today with a very special giveaway.
And Anthony is here live in studio. Now, I know you're a White Sox fan,
yes,
but I don't see the White Sox doing this.
No, this is very creative, actually. It kind of reminds me of something Willy Wonka would do. Remember the golden tickets that everyone had to find? Well, listen to what the Cubs are doing. They're surprising fans today by giving away 2,024 tickets for free. And fans can find these tickets at various locations hidden throughout the city that have the giant Cubs C on them. So if fans see that letter C and find it, they will get a pair of tickets to select games throughout the regular season. And to find out the locations where these letter C's are, follow Cubs social media accounts for details. And fans can try to find those tickets starting at 8 a.m., but 20 minutes. Less than 20 minutes, and it lasts till 1 p.m. So there's going to be kind of a stampede. Cubs single game tickets for regular folks outside of this promotion go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. And the Cubs are hosting the White Sox tomorrow for the first spring training game. Isn't that fun to think about? The first pitch is 2:05.
Would have been a perfect day yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They could have played baseball right here.
Members of the UAW Local 551 held a news conference earlier today claiming that in the last several months, some employee vehicles have been broken into and rifled through while they are working at the Torrance Avenue plant. Here are some images provided to us from the Auto Workers Union showing the alleged damage. The union says they are asking for Ford to implement more security in certain lots that are not gated or manned 24/7. Chicago police confirmed to me that since February 10th, they've received 4 incident reports of car windows being smashed at the Torrance Avenue plant. The union's vice president spoke out earlier today.
And they made it into the lot and they hit probably numerous, I don't know how many, but there was numerous vehicles that got smashed into. The windows smashed, everything they had was rifled through. Most people had things taken. We need some assistance with people being able to get to and from their vehicles safely.
A spokesperson with Ford tells us that they have improved security in employee lots and are enhancing lighting and cameras, telling us that the safety and security of their employees is a top priority. Reporting from the UAW Local 551, Casey Cronis, Fox 32, Chicago.
Everywhere you look, you have history of the Tribune.
Chicago's most unique skyscraper, restored and reimagined.
Ooh, behind the curtain.
During construction, countless time capsules were discovered.
Had a letter from the sports editor of the Chicago Tribune,
including the most significant relic from the biggest scandal in Chicago sports history. What other wonders does the tower hold? Streaming on your smart TV, only at Fox 32 on Fox Local. Search Fox Local on these streaming platforms. Download and watch today.
We're going to the Crown. Let's do it.